Seeker, come closer. Let the noise of your world fade away. I am the Ghost King, and I have a story for you. A story etched not in stone, but in smoke and spirit. Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the veil of what you can see? What power waits in the silence between heartbeats? Not all battles were fought with steel and sinew. The most terrifying, the most profound were waged in the unseen realms. They were fought in the mind, against fears that had no name, and against entities that walked between worlds. Across the vast continent of Africa, warriors understood this better than anyone. They knew that to conquer the enemy in front of them, they first had to master the world within and the world beyond. But there was one ritual, a test of spirit so profound, so dangerous, that even the bravest warriors dared not speak its name. We will get to that. But first, you must understand the world they lived in, the world they fought in. Seeker, if you have the courage to listen, subscribe. The path ahead is dark. It began with smoke, not the smoke of burning villages, but the sacred smoke of cleansing and communion. This was battlefield intelligence of a different kind. A Sangoma, a diviner steeped in ancient knowledge, would read the patterns in the rising plumes. They could see the enemy's numbers, their morale, the presence of treachery. The smoke was a living map, a direct line to the ancestral watchers. It purified the warrior's spirit, washing away doubt and fear, but it also clouded the vision of their enemies, sowing confusion and dread in their ranks. It was a shield and a spyglass, woven from nothing but ash and intention. It was carried on song. The war chants of the Zulu, the Shona, the Maasai, these were not mere morale boosters. They were sonic keys, unlocking reservoirs of ancestral power. Each note, each rhythm, was a story of a past victory, a prayer to a guardian spirit. The vibrations of the chant would align the warriors' hearts, making them beat as one. It created a fortress of sound, a psychic shield that could unnerve even the most disciplined foe. Imagine hearing that sound, Seeker. 100 voices, 1,000 years of history rolling across the savannah towards you. Would you stand your ground, or would your courage fail? This was psychological warfare in its purest form, and it was won in the spirit world. For these warriors, the physical realm was only half of the battlefield. The true conflict took place in a dimension that coexisted with our own, a place where thoughts had weight and ancestors walked beside the living. Before a single spear was thrown, shamans and spiritual specialists would journey into this realm to scout, to sabotage, and to seek blessings. They would weaken the enemy's spiritual defenses, sever their connection to their own ancestors, and ensure the path to victory was clear. A battle won in the spirit world was a battle already decided in the physical. Across the continent, these practices took many forms. In the south, the revered Sangomas, who were often women of immense spiritual authority, were the keepers of this power. They brewed potions not of poison, but of courage, an infusion of a lion's heart fern to grant bravery, or the powdered root of the impila plant for resilience. These weren't placebos. They were physical anchors for spiritual power, connecting the warrior's body to the very essence of the land they fought to protect. Spears and shields were waved through cleansing smoke, each weapon blessed and consecrated. This act imbued the inanimate object with a living spirit, turning a simple tool of war into an extension of the warrior's will and a vessel for ancestral protection. It was believed the smoke would guide the spear to its mark and turn aside the enemy's blow. Ritual feasts steeled courage. The night before a battle, the warriors would gather. This was no boisterous celebration. It was a solemn, sacred meal. They ate specific foods that symbolized strength and unity, sharing from a single pot to reinforce their bond as a brotherhood. They were consuming not just nourishment, but their shared purpose, their collective history. Each man looked into the eyes of his brother and saw the same fire, the same resolve. They were forging a single entity, a phalanx of spirit as much as of body. But the spirit world was not always an ally. It was a place of profound danger, teeming with entities born of fear and chaos. Legends from the Congo Basin tell of the Aloko, vicious, dwarf-like spirits of the deep forest who guarded their territory with merciless ferocity. They were said to have grass for hair and claws of iron, luring lost travelers with the sound of a crying baby before devouring them. To face the Aloko was to face the primal terror of the jungle itself. Yet, for every shadow, there was a light. The Fon people of Benin speak of the Aziza, tiny, benevolent spirits who lived in the forest and offered good magic and practical advice to hunters and warriors who showed them respect. They were masters of the natural world, capable of teaching a man the language of the animals or showing him the secret properties of a humble leaf. They were proof that help could be found in the most unexpected of places if one's heart was pure. And then there were the shadow spirits, formless entities born from concentrated rage or grief. These were not natural spirits. They were psychic wounds given form, haunting places of great violence or sorrow. A warrior consumed by his own anger could inadvertently create such a being, a phantom that would feed on his rage until it destroyed him. To fight them was to fight an emotion, a battle of will against an enemy that could not be cut or pierced. In these treacherous landscapes, a hero was never truly alone. They were often guided by ancestor messengers. The Zulu called them Sigidi. These were not ghosts in the way your culture imagines them. They were tangible presences, intermediaries sent by the ancestral council to provide guidance. A Sigidi might appear in a dream, in the flicker of a fire, or as a whisper on the wind, offering a crucial piece of tactical advice or a warning of a hidden ambush. They were the ultimate guardians. Some warriors didn't just listen to the past, they embodied it. They entered states of trance-fueled combat, like the Ngolo fighters of Angola, whose movements, inspired by the fighting stances of zebras, became the foundation for capoeira. In this trance, the warrior's consciousness would recede, and the spirit of a legendary champion, a past hero of their lineage, would take control. Their bodies would move with a grace and power not entirely their own, executing techniques they had never learned, guided by a century of combat experience. Could you surrender control like that, Seeker? Could you trust your body to a ghost? This was the essence of their power. Tactics mixed ritual and strategy. Charms weren't just for luck. They were mnemonic devices, physical reminders of complex strategies. Ritual cleansing wasn't just about hygiene. It was about mental focus. And all of this was coded knowledge, passed down from generation to generation. Power passed power. It was a chain of wisdom, each link forged in the fires of experience, ensuring that the lessons of the past were never lost. The ancestors' victories became the children's inheritance. Seeker, if you have reached this far, You have shown the patience of a true warrior. Thank you. The greatest test is yet to come. The unnamed ritual awaits. Now we come to it. The ritual no warrior dared to name. It was known only in whispers as the facing. It was not a test of the body, but of the soul. A warrior chosen for a task of immense importance, a lone assassin, a champion in single combat, a scout sent deep into enemy lands, would be isolated for one night. They would be given a brew, a potent and dangerous concoction made from hallucinogenic plants, and it was said, the tears of a grieving ancestor. As the potion took hold, the warrior would be plunged into the deepest parts of his own spirit. He would not face monsters of the forest, he would face himself. Every doubt he ever had, every fear he had buried, every failure that haunted him would manifest as a living entity. He would have to fight the ghost of his own inadequacy, the demon of his own anger, the specter of his own mortality. To fight these phantoms with force was to fail. The only way to survive the facing was to accept them, to look his fear in its face and acknowledge it, to forgive himself for his failures, to understand that his mortality was what made his courage meaningful. If he succeeded, he would emerge at dawn, not broken, but reborn. He would have faced the worst enemy he could ever meet, himself, and made peace. His spirit would be forged into unbreakable steel. He would be fearless, not because he felt no fear, but because he had mastered it. These are true accounts of minds and myths colliding. This was their reality, pragmatic, spiritual, and utterly terrifying. This is how they forged warrior traditions built on a foundation of profound resilience and the unwavering certainty of ancestral protection. They understood a truth that your modern world has forgotten, Seeker. The truth that the greatest battles are internal. The strength to face the world outside is forged in the crucible of the soul within. That is the takeaway for you. Your battles may not be fought with spears on the savannah, but you face your own unseen enemies every day. Doubt, fear, insecurity. These are your Eloko, your shadow spirits. You must learn to be a warrior of the mind, to lean on the wisdom of those who came before you, your own ancestors, your mentors, to find your own rituals that cleanse your spirit and steel your courage, to face yourself, all of yourself, and emerge stronger. That is the path of the warrior. That is the power they have passed down to you. If these stories speak to the warrior in your soul, then subscribe and join our circle. I drop new stories every week, so be sure to watch if you haven't yet. There are many more battles of the unseen to explore. Now go and watch another. The spirits are waiting.